जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय दामोदरा जय दामोदरा। दामोदरा जय दामोदरा। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। Jai Vishnupat Paramansa Parivrajakataristottara Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupat Paramansa Parivrajakataristottara Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhari Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री दामोदरा की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, The Appearance of Sri Narada, Text number 30. Tatha Api Bata Me Daihyaha Tathapi Bata Me Daihyo Tathapi Bata Me Daihyo Hi Atma Cha Eva Atmana Chaivatmana Vibhuhu Hyatma Chaivatmana Vibhuhu Hyatma Chaivatmana Vibhuhu Asampanna Iva Abhati Asampanna Iva Bhati Asampanna Iva Bhati Brahma Varchasya Sattamaha Brahma Varchasya Sattamaha Brahma Varchasya Sattamaha Tathapi Bata Me Daihyo Hyatma Chaivatmana Vibhuhu Asampanna Iva Bhati Brahma Varchasya Sattamaha Tathapi Bata Me Daihyo Hyatma Chaivatmana Vibhuhu Asampanna Iva Bhati Brahma Varchasya Sattamaha. Tathapi, although, but defect, may, mind, daihyaha, situated in the body, he, certainly, atma, living being, cha, and, eva, even, atmana, myself, vibhu, sufficient, asampannaha, wanting in, iva abhati, it appears to be Brahmavarchasya of the Vedantists, Sattamaha, the Supreme. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Translation: I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. Kindly repeat. I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Undoubtedly, Srila Vyasadeva was complete in all the details of Vedic achievements. Purification of the living being submerged in matter is made possible by the prescribed activities in the Vedas. But the ultimate achievement is different. Unless it is attained, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in the transcendentally normal stage. Srila Vyasadeva appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenataranam. In the beginning of the creation, Lord Brahma, first of all, from his mind, he generated the Sapta Rishis, the 7 sages. And then there was also Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, who are all born from Lord Brahma. And then personalities like Daksha and various personalities like this, they were all created by Brahma. And then Brahma also created Swayambhuva Manu, who married Shatarupa. Swayambhuva Manu was the first person who further created mankind. All the other rishis, they created all other different kinds of living entities like insects, trees, plants, etc. Swayambhuva Manu was interested with procreating and propagating the humankind. Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters, one of whom was Devahuti, who married Kardama Muni, and their son was the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Kapiladeva. And Swayambhuva Manu also had 2 sons. The elder son was Priyavrata, and the younger one was Uttanapada. Now this Uttanapada, he had 2 wives. The elder queen was called Suniti, and the younger one was called Suruchi. And Uttanapada got to rule over the kingdom, which was practically the whole of the earth. This was at the very beginning of the creation. Swayambhuva Manu was the first human who was created. And now Uttanapada, he, although Suniti was his elder queen, still for him the younger queen, Suruchi, was the more favorite queen. And by Suniti, Uttanapada had one son by name Dhruva. He was the elder son. And by Suruchi, he had a younger son by name Uttama. Once, when Dhruva was about 5 years old, he was playing along with Uttama, his younger stepbrother. And Uttama, after a little play, he climbed onto Uttanapada, his father's lap, and he sat there. Dhruva, seeing his brother sitting on his father's lap, he also wanted to climb the lap of his father. But Uttanapada, seeing that Suruchi was standing nearby, he did not give much importance to Dhruva. He did not allow him to climb on his lap. Seeing this, Suruchi got emboldened, and she told Dhruva Maharaj, "My dear son, you are trying to climb on the lap of your father, thinking that you are his son, therefore you have got the right to climb on his lap. Although you may be his son, but you are not born from my womb, so you have no right to sit on the lap of your father." In other words, she was indirectly hinting that Dhruva Maharaj was an illegitimate son. Dhruva Maharaj, he was shocked, and Suruchi did not stop there. And she said, "Dhruva, you see, if you at all harbor a desire to sit on the lap of your father, first of all, you please go and worship Narayana. And after worshipping him suitably, sufficiently, if Narayana blesses you, then you can take birth in my womb. And after taking birth in my womb, then you can dream of sitting on the lap of your father." In other words, what Suruchi was saying was that, Dhruva, if you want to sit on your father's lap, first you have to die, and then you have to again take birth in my womb, and then you can sit on the father's lap. Big insult. Dhruva Maharaj, although he was 5 years old, he could not tolerate this. He started crying and ran to his mother, Suniti. Suniti was not aware of this. She was in her own room in the palace. And when Dhruva came running, crying, tears flowing down his cheeks, Suniti asked Dhruva, "What happened, my dear son? Why are you crying?" And then Dhruva, he narrated what all had happened. Shri Shri Krishna Rukmani Satyabhama ki. Dhruva narrated what all had happened. When Suniti heard this, she was also very disappointed. She also became very sad, sorrowful, because it was a big insult to her also. Then she said, but she knew that this is the truth. The king favors Suruchi more than Suniti. So Suniti also could not control her tears. She also started crying. And then she told her son, "Dhruva, my dear son, whatever your stepmother told is actually true. So you should not feel too much for this, whatever she has said." And she advised, she gave a very wonderful advice to Dhruva. You look at the character of Suniti. She told Dhruva, "My dear son, because your stepmother told like this, please do not wish for any inauspiciousness for your stepmother." You see, such a great woman she is. She is telling her son, please do not desire for any bad thing to happen to your stepmother, although she might have insulted me and you, and she has usurped the position which actually belonged to Suniti, because she was the elder queen. Despite this, Suniti is saying, please do not wish for any bad thing, any inauspicious thing for her. And then she told Dhruva, actually Dhruva, you should follow the instructions of your stepmother. If at all you have such desires to sit on the throne of your father, then you should follow the instruction of your stepmother, Suruchi, and you should worship Narayana. Only if he blesses, then it is possible, because Narayana is the person who has created Brahma, and he is the person who has given the position of being the creator of this whole world to Brahma, who is your great-grandfather. So whether it is your grandfather Swayambhuva Manu, or it is your great-grandfather Lord Brahma, or it is your father, all of them are able to enjoy their position only because of the blessings of Narayana. So if you want a position like that, you should also please Narayana according to the instructions of your stepmother. Dhruva, what did he do? 5-year-old child. Immediately he set out to the forest to search out where is Narayana. And when he was searching for Narayana, where is Narayana in the forest? Krishna is seated as Paramatma in the heart. He is the Chaitya Guru. He is always waiting, when will the living entity turn towards me? So when Paramatma saw that this living entity, Dhruva, he is sincerely searching after Narayana, immediately he sent Narada Muni to act as his spiritual master. So Narada Muni came to Dhruva in the middle of the forest. And the moment Dhruva saw, oh, Narada Muni has come, he offered his obeisances. Then Narada Muni said, my dear son, I heard you are looking for Narayana. Dhruva said, yes, I am looking for Narayana in this forest. Please guide me where I can find him. So Narada Muni told Dhruva, my dear child, finding Narayana is not so easy. Big rishis and sages, they meditate for millions of lifetimes, searching out where is that Narayana seated within my heart, and still they are not able to find him. And you are after all a small child. Your age is to play. Children are prone to playing. This is your age to, and your proclivity is also to play, not to engage in austerities, big tapasyas like all the sages and rishis. So better you go back home. And when you are older, if you still have the desire to find out Narayana, then we will think about it. And then Narada Muni said, but at the same time, you are so much afflicted by whatever insult you had to bear because of your stepmother. This is the nature of the material world. Nature of the material world is happiness and distress are combined here. And according to one's past karma, whatever happiness or distress has to come, it will come. Therefore, you should learn to become equipoised in happiness and in distress, in praise and in insult. Today somebody has insulted you, tomorrow somebody else will praise you. So when somebody praises you, you should not become overly happy, and when somebody insults you, you should not become distressed. And like this, you have to spend your life, and then you can become peaceful. Otherwise, always your mind will be agitated. Some distress or the other will keep coming in life, and some happiness or the other will keep coming in life. You cannot avoid these things. So better is to learn to become equipoised. When Dhruva heard this, he responded, my dear Narada Muni, you are giving wonderful advice to be equipoised. But unfortunately, I am a Kshatriya. In my heart, your instructions are not staying. I am determined to find out Narayana. If you know how I can get him, please instruct me. So Narada Muni saw that Dhruva is determined. So he decided to initiate Dhruva Maharaj. So he said, okay, all right, I will tell you how to get the audience of Narayana. And then Narada Muni gave him a mantra. He initiated him with the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then he told him, you have to go to how to worship the mantra, how to chant the mantra. He said, you have to go to Madhuvana, which is in Vrindavan. Even today, if you go to Vrindavan, near Mathura, there is this place called Madhuvan. And in Madhuvana, there is one small hillock. On top of that, there is a temple of Dhruva Maharaj. And it is said that that's where Dhruva Maharaj meditated upon Lord Vishnu, and finally he had darshan of Vishnu there. So Narada Muni instructed Dhruva that you go to Madhuvana, you make a deity of Vishnu, and every day you do deity worship and you chant this mantra which I have given you. So both things, deity worship, which is Pancharatrika Vidhi, and chanting the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra, which is Bhagavata Vidhi. So you see, this is not something new which has been concocted or created by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. It is something which is existing since the beginning of creation. The combination of following the path of Pancharatrika Vidhi and Bhagavata Vidhi. So, being initiated by Narada Muni like this, Dhruva Maharaj walked all the way to Vrindavan. He came to Madhuvana, And there, out of clay, he made a deity of Narayana. And according to the instruction of Narada Muni, every day he would take 3 times bath in the Yamuna. Because Yamuna, taking bath is for one's own cleansing one's own body. Taking bath in the Yamuna has another big spiritual significance, because the Yamuna water has touched the lotus feet of Krishna. It has great purifying effect and it can give Krishna prema to the devotees. So, every day Dhruva started bathing 3 times in the Yamuna. He made a deity of Vishnu out of clay, and every day he started worshipping the deity according to the Pancharatra Vidhi and started chanting the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra. Now, he is in the forest. Now he has come so far away. He is doing deity worship. He is chanting the mantra. What will he do for food? So, there were trees in the forest. Even today you go to Vrindavan, it is very common to find bare trees. And these bare trees, they produce fruit, the bare fruit, which is not very tasty. It is a simple fruit, but it is liked by all the monkeys. So, all the monkeys eat that bare fruit. So, even if you go to our Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir campus also, there is one bare tree there, which has been there since the beginning. So, this Dhruva Maharaj, every 3rd day, he would eat a little bare fruit. Every 3rd day. So, that means 2 days he would fast, and 3rd day he will eat a little bare fruit. So, the first month he spent like this. The second month, every 6 days, he would eat some leaves which had fallen on the ground. So, he stopped eating even on the bare fruit. The 3rd month, he started drinking water every 9th day. Apart from that, he would not take anything. The 4th month, he would drink water every 12 days. He stopped even eating the leaves. Bare fruit he stopped eating. Leaves also he stopped eating. Now he was only drinking water, that too once every 12 days. And then, after that, the 5th month, he would take a breath once in a few days. Once in 2 weeks or so, he would take a breath of air. That's all. So he started living only on air. He stopped drinking even water. And now like this went on for 5-6 months. By the 6th month, he stopped breathing also. And because he was able to concentrate his mind so perfectly because of stopping all his sensory requirements of eating and sleeping and all these things, he was able to stand like a pillar on one single foot. You know, for us, if you have to stand on one foot, it's not easy. You have to balance yourself. But Dhruva Maharaj was very easily able to balance himself perfectly and stood like a immobile column just on one foot, and closing his eyes, he was able to sustain the form of Narayana within his heart. And when this happened, the whole movement of air within the whole universe started getting stuck up. And the devatas started suffocating. They were not able to breathe. So they all went to Vishnu and started praying to him. We don't know what is happening. We are not able to breathe. We are all getting suffocated. What's happening? Then Vishnu told them, don't worry. It is all because of the tapasya of Dhruva Maharaj. I will take care of this. And so like this, Dhruva was meditating upon Vishnu and he was enjoying the beautiful features of Vishnu within his heart. And because he was sustaining Vishnu within his heart, and Vishnu is the heaviest personality. Whenever the Lord Vishnu incarnates or Vishnu himself appears, his weight is something which this universe cannot sustain. And so Ananta Shesha has to incarnate to support the weight of Vishnu. So that Vishnu, Dhruva was sustaining within his heart, because of which his toe, which was standing on the earth, started causing the whole earth to go out of orbit. The Bhagavatam says, just like if you put an elephant on a boat of water, the elephant, if it lifts one leg, the boat will start rocking. So the elephant is not putting any effort. It's simply lifting his one leg and the whole boat starts you start fearing that whether the boat will capsize. So like that, Dhruva was not putting any effort. Simply because he was sustaining the form of Vishnu within his heart, the whole earth started dipping and started going out of its orbit. All this is happening. And then suddenly, Dhruva was enjoying the beautiful features of Vishnu within his heart. Suddenly, that form of Vishnu disappeared from his heart. And when the form of Vishnu disappeared, Dhruva got very agitated and he opened his eyes. Where? Vishnu, where did he disappear? When he opened his eyes, Vishnu was right there standing in front of him. So immediately, Dhruva was overcome by ecstasy, immediately offered his obeisance, and he wanted to glorify the Lord. The Lord is appeared before him personally. He wanted to chant some mantras and glorify him, but because he was just a 5-year-old child, he did not know what to say. He was at a loss for words. So understanding his mind, Vishnu touched Dhruva's head with his conch. And immediately all transcendental realizations started flowing through Dhruva Maharaj, and he started offering beautiful, wonderful prayers composed by him, which is given in the Bhagavatam. Beautiful prayers he offered to Vishnu. And then after he offered his prayers, Vishnu asked him, my dear son, Dhruva, tell me, what do you want? So why did Dhruva take up all this tapasya? Imagine, eating only bare fruit, then first month, then that also once in 3 days, stopped that and started eating only leaves every 6 days. Then stopped that also, started drinking water every 9 days. Stopped that also, taking one breath of air only once in 12 days. You can imagine this. What kind of tapasya he has undertaken? Extreme tapasya at the age of just 5 years. All this for what? Because he wanted a kingdom much greater than even his grandfather's. That means even greater than the universe which Brahma has created. The entire universe is the kingdom of Brahma. He wanted something far beyond that. That was his whole goal. So in 6 months, he had managed to see Vishnu. Vishnu had appeared before him. And that Vishnu, who is the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of everything, who is the person who has given Brahma his position, he is asking, what do you want? What else do you want? So enough, no. He can ask for the universe, he can ask for, much bigger universe, whatever he wants, he can ask. What was Dhruva's response? Sthanabhilashi tapasi stitoham. Dhruva had not forgotten. He said, Sthanabhilashi tapasi stitoham. Tapasi stitaha aham. I was situated in this Gora tapasya, in this austerity. Why? Sthana abhilashi. I had a great ambition to get a position far greater than even Lord Brahma. It is with that intention that I worshipped you. So Dhruva did not forget. He was not overwhelmed by the situation. He was clear in his mind. He knew what he had worshipped Lord Vishnu for. So he said, Sthana vilashi tapasi sthitoham tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam. But what did I get? Tvam praptavan, I got you. Deva munindra guhyam, who are difficult to be obtained by even the devatas and by the kings, by the greatest of the munis. They are not able to get you with all their tapasya and lifetimes of so much attempts at following the different yoga processes. They are not able to get you. Nor are even the great devatas are able to get you. I have got you. Although I was looking for a kingdom, but I got you. Kacham vichinvanapi divyaratnam. Kacham means some broken pieces of glass. Vichinvan, I was searching, I was looking, I was searching after some broken pieces of glass. Kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam. But while searching for those broken pieces of glass, I found a great, divine, most invaluable jewel. Meaning, Dhruva is saying, I was looking for some material kingdom and position, but I got you in return. And so therefore, he said, Dhruva said, Kritarthosmi varam nayache. Kritarthosmi, I am satisfied. Varam nayache, I don't want any benediction. I am not looking for any kingdom, position greater than Brahma, all these things. I don't want anything. So you see, Dhruva started out wanting. Dhruva started out being dissatisfied. He was not satisfied with the conduct of his stepmother, and he was not satisfied with getting the throne of his father also. He wanted something greater than what his own great-grandfather Brahma possessed, which is this whole universe. You see his desire. His desire was, he was not satisfied with even if he got to rule over the entire universe, he was not satisfied. So he started with that dissatisfaction. But where did he end up? Sthanabilashi tapasistitoham. With that dissatisfaction, he worshipped Narayana, Vishnu. And where did he end up? Kritarthosmi, I am completely satisfied. Varam nayache, I don't want any benediction. You see? Actually, this is a characteristic of worshipping Krishna. In the 5th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, there is a prayer by all the devatas, demigods. They glorify Krishna. They say, Satyam dishatyarthitam arthito nirnam, naivarthado yat punararthita yataha, swayam vidatte bhajatam anichyatam ichchapidhanam nijapada padmam. So the devatas are saying, all kinds of people worship us for different kinds of benedictions. Somebody worships Lord Shiva, somebody worships Ganesha, somebody worships Shanideva, somebody worships Rahu, somebody worships Hanuman. All kinds of people, they worship all kinds of devatas. But then, if they come to you, Krishna, for satisfying their material desires instead of coming to any one of us devatas, is it not that Krishna will not fulfill those desires? No, Satyam Dishati, Yad Arthitam, Nirna, whatever a man may have material desires, if he goes to Krishna, Krishna can also definitely fulfill. Krishna will definitely fulfill. But the difference between approaching Krishna and the other devatas is Naivarthato Yad Punararthitam. If Krishna, what Krishna will see is, the devatas, if anybody goes to the devatas with any desire, if they satisfy them, offering some 108 coconuts, or doing some archana, something, some yajna, whatever is prescribed in the Vedas, they perform that, the devata will be satisfied and he will fulfill the desire of that devotee. But if a devotee goes to Krishna and he worships him, Krishna will be pleased. But what Krishna will see? He will see Yat punararthita. If the devotee is, if Krishna were to fulfill the desire of the devotee, if it will cause the devotee to again and again come to Krishna asking for the same thing, then Krishna will not satisfy his desire. So what is this? Then what is the use of going to Krishna? I may have a desire to earn money. Every month I need a salary. Every month I'll go to Lord Shiva and ask him, satisfy him with offering some Gangajal, Bilvapatra, and then worship Lord Shiva. Every month give me a raise, give me more income. Lord Shiva will be pleased and will give. But if I go to Krishna, one time only I can ask. Second time if I ask, Krishna will not give. Then what is the use in going to Krishna? So that the devatas are saying, Krishna will not give. He will not fulfill your desire, but Krishna will do something else. What will he do? He will bhajatam anichyatam, bhajatam. That devotee may be coming to Krishna not to get anything else other than that material desire fulfilled. So although the devotee has not asked Krishna for anything else, what Krishna will do? Ichchapidhanam nijapada padmam. He will give him shelter of his own lotus feet. Just like Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj went to Krishna wanting a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather's. He wanted a kingdom greater than this universe. So what did Vishnu do? He gave him shelter of his lotus feet. And because of achieving the shelter of the lotus feet of Vishnu, what happened? Dhruva felt fully satisfied, so much that he said, I don't want any desire to be fulfilled. He gave up, he rejected his original desire. So, Ichchapidhanam, if we worship Krishna, Nijapada Padmam Bhajatam. So, although Anichyatam, although Dhruva Maharaj did not desire that I want love for Krishna, I want Krishna Prema. That was not the motive of Dhruva. He never desired that. But finally what happened? Nijapada Padmam. He obtained love for the lotus feet of Vishnu. And because of that, Ichchapidanam, he gave up, he rejected all his desires. He said, Kritarthosmi, Varam Nayache, I don't want that benediction which I was looking for, not required anymore. So if somebody approaches Krishna, if that desire is something which has appeared only once in the heart of that devotee, Krishna will fulfill that material desire. On the other hand, if that Krishna sees that if I fulfill this desire, this person, this devotee will keep coming to me again and again to fulfill the same desire, then Krishna will not fulfill that desire. On the other hand, Krishna will give him shelter of his lotus feet, by which he will forget that desire forever. So in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, although Dhruva said, Kritarthosme varam nayache, I don't want any more benediction, I don't want a kingdom, I don't want anything. Vishnu replied, my dear son, you may say this, but I know what you came and worshipped me for. Therefore, I am giving you the Dhruva Loka. And what is the significance of this Dhruva Loka? Even when this universe of Brahma is destroyed at the end of the lifespan of Brahma, that Dhruva Loka, your planet, will not get destroyed. It will continue to exist as part of the spiritual world. So Krishna carved out a portion of the spiritual world and gave it to Dhruva Maharaj. This is far greater than what even Brahma can dream of. So you see, Narayana satisfied the desire of Dhruva. At the same time, he took away that desire altogether. So, what we have to understand is, as long as we are in this material world, and as long as we harbor material desires in our heart, whether it is like Dhruva Maharaj who wanted a kingdom bigger than this universe, or it is like Vyasadeva, whom we are seeing here in today's verse. Who is Vyasadeva? Vyasadeva is Brahmavarchasya. He is the topmost of all the Vedantas. He has compiled all the Upanishads. He has compiled all the Vedanta Sutras. So Vyasadeva is on the other end of the spectrum. On the one hand, we have somebody like Dhruva who wants rulership over the whole universe. Such a big material desire. All of us have material desires. I should be able to rule over my office. I should be able to rule over my family. I should be able to rule over my husband. I should be able to rule over my wife. I should be able to rule over my children. Or somebody is thinking, I should be able to rule over Tamil Nadu state. Somebody is thinking, I should be able to rule over India. That much only we can think. We cannot go beyond that. Dhruva is thinking, I want to rule over the entire universe. Look at his desire. So, that is one end of the spectrum. Another end of the spectrum is Vyasadeva. And what is Vyasadeva? I don't want anything in this material world. From the Upanishads, from the Vedantas, what is it that we get? I want mukti, I want liberation. So, on the one hand, somebody may have no desire at all, no material desire at all in this world except for mukti. Or in between, we may have some small desires. Or we may have the biggest desire of ruling over the entire universe. All such people, what happens? Asampanna iva bhati. They can never feel satisfied. Even if you become a spiritualist, even if you learn the Vedanta Sutras, even if you become a yogi, even then you cannot become satisfied. You get the rulership over an entire country or a nation or even the earth or even the universe, you cannot be satisfied. If you want satisfaction, then how is it possible? Ichchapidhanam nijapada padmam. Only when we attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, meaning only when we become pure devotees of Krishna, can we become fully satisfied. And that is why Dhruva Maharaj said, Kritarthosmi. Kritartha means I am fully satisfied now. No more desire. As long as we keep trying to satisfy our material desires, even up to the point of liberation, we can never be satisfied. And that's the example being set by Vyasadeva here and the Srimad-Bhagavatam, that if we want to be fully satisfied, then only way is to render devotional service, pure devotional service to Krishna, and become his pure devotee. That's the only way we can become fully satisfied. So I'll stop here. If anybody has any question or any comment, we can discuss. Mike, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Normally, this pastime, normally we give an example that whenever we got a material desire, once we come into the devotional service, it will get purified. But after Dhruva, after meeting the Lord also, apparently it looks like he is maintaining the revengeful attitude towards Yakshas on account of killing his brother Uttama. So we understand that once we get into the devotional service, all the good characteristics is manifest in one's heart and behavior sort of thing. So how do we understand that this revengeful attitude, especially, of course, he is Kshatriya, we understand, but still, on the apparently it looks like he is attached to the Uttama's killing and he fought against the Yakshas.
That is explained by Prabhupada in the purports to that pastime. When Dhruva started engaging in wholesale slaughtering of the Yakshas, that actually Dhruva was a great pure devotee, constantly carrying Vishnu within his heart. So he did not consider anybody his friend or his enemy. So he had no such consideration. But he was playing the role of a king. And as a king, he had certain duties to perform. The king's primary duty is to protect the citizens. And because his brother was also a citizen of his kingdom, he had a duty to give protection. And because his citizen had been killed, he had to take necessary steps to retaliate. This is the duty of a Kshatriya. So, a pure devotee, when he is performing the role of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, he will perform the role to perfection. He will follow all the rules and regulations which are given in the Vedic scriptures according to the Varnashrama Dharma. He will follow them to the hilt. Why? Because he is not under the purview of those duties. Like Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, that a pure devotee, he is not obliged, he is not under the control of the Vedic rules and regulations. It is not essential for him to follow. Varta eva chakarmani, but still he performs those duties, because if he were not to perform those duties, the common mass of people will take their example and they will also stop following the rules and regulations of the scriptures, which will become very harmful for them. So therefore Krishna gives the example of Janaka, who was such a pure devotee, he got Lord Ramachandra as his son. So even he performed his duties perfectly as a king. And Krishna gives his own personal example. He says, I am the supreme personality of Godhead. For me, there is no duty to be performed, but still, Varta yevacha karmani atandritaha, with great care I perform all the duties which are expected of me as a Kshatriya. Why? Because if it does not do that, people will also their finger, see, Krishna did not do it. See, Dhruva did not follow, so why I should follow? Then kings who are subsequently coming, they will give the example of Dhruva and they say Kshatriya is not required to protect the citizens. So, here Dhruva had to set an example so that all the kings would know that it is their duty that even if a Yaksha comes, Yakshas are far more powerful than human beings. Still, it is the duty of the king to go and fight and protect the citizens. The king cannot say, no, Yakshas are supernatural beings. We cannot fight against them. Let them do what they want. No. Even if that is the role of a Kshatriya, even at the cost of his life, he has to protect the citizens. So Dhruva Maharaj was setting an example. Of course, while doing that, he got a little bit carried away and started killing the Yakshas on a much larger scale. And that is why immediately Kubera and Lord Brahma, everybody came and stopped Dhruva Maharaj. The moment they said that, he immediately threw up everything. He gave up his anger, everything, and he folded his hands and said, okay. So that itself shows that he was completely detached. But as a matter of performing his duty, he had to do what was required according to the Vedic scriptures, and he performed that. That's how we have to understand. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
Like Dhruva Maharaj, he got perfected in doing tapasya by seeing the form of the Lord within the heart. Like it is auspicious. But In another hand, we see in the universe there is a disturbance in the laws, like
Yeah.
the airflow. So, how to understand this thing?
That's because that's the nature of tapasya. Anybody undertakes tapasya, it will have its reaction within this material universe. So in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, why that happened is because the Lord wanted to demonstrate how a devotee becomes so powerful simply by meditating upon the Supreme Lord. Dhruva had no intention to create any disturbance in the universe. But the Lord wanted to set an example to all the devatas and to everybody else that you see how powerful Dhruva Maharaj has come, even though he's just a 5-year-old child, that he can shake the whole universe simply because of his devotion to Krishna. So devotional service stands far above all other yogic processes. If you look at Hiranyakashipu, he also created disturbance within the universe, but that was on the power of Ashtanga Yoga. Whereas Dhruva Maharaj, he could do a similar feat simply by his devotion. So by this what we understand is Bhakti Yoga is far more powerful than even Ashtanga Yoga. So he had to, Hiranyakashipu had to perform that kind of severe tapasya following Ashtanga Yoga for so many thousands of years. Dhruva Maharaj, only in 6 months, because of his devotion, he far exceeded that of Hiranyakashipu. So we can understand that the nature of tapasya is when anybody undertakes severe tapasya, it will have its reaction. So it will manifest in the universe in some form or the other. That's how we have to understand. Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.